All right, guys, so 2.3D lesson, we're going to do word problems on multiplying and dividing numbers. Okay, so for these problems, it says write an expression, show your work to calculate your answer, write your answer in context in a complete sentence. Dory can run 3.25 miles every hour. How long will it take her to run a race that is 16.25 miles long? All right, so I hope that you've got a division kind of feel about this problem, and we're going to take the 16.25 total miles long and divide it by 3.25. Okay, so we've got 16.25 divided by 3.25. Now 16.25 as an improper fraction, 4 times 16 plus 1 is 65/4, and we're going to divide that by 3 25 hundredths. All right, so we've got 65/4 divided by, this would be 3 1/4. Okay, I'm out of space, I'm going to come up here. 65/4 divided by 4 times 3 plus 1 is 13/4. Remember, when you divide with fractions, you keep, change, flip. Okay, you multiply by the reciprocal of that second fraction. Okay, so I hope you can see that these 4's go away, and 13 goes into 13 one time, and 13 goes into 65 5 times. So your answer is 5. Okay, and I don't have space to write the answer here, so I'll just write it right up here. It will take Dory 5 hours to run the race. Okay, turn that a little bit. It's telling me a little bit better. Okay, number 2. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., the temperature dropped 1.4 degrees each hour. What was the total change in temperature between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.? All right, so each hour 1.4 degrees. Hopefully you understand that between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. that's 12 total hours. So we're going to need to take and multiply 12 times 1.4. Okay, and 12 times 1.4 is 16.8. So the temperature dropped 16.8 degrees. Okay, number 3. Bridget wants to make 14 matching hair bows for her friends. Each hair bow requires 3/4 of a yard of ribbon. How many yards of ribbon will Bridget need to make all the hair bows? Okay, so 3/4 yards is 1 ribbon, and we want 14. So, hope it makes sense that we're going to be multiplying 14 by 3/4. Okay, and think of that 14 as 14 over 1. Okay, we can cross cancel the 14 and the 4 a bit. 2 goes into both of those. And then we would have 7 times 3, which is 21. 1 times 2, which is 2. Okay, so 21 halves. You could also write that as 10 and a half. Okay, so Bridget needs 10 and a half. Are we in yards? Yes, we are. Yards of ribbon. All right, on to number 4. There are 18 apple trees in my orchard. If I can harvest the fruit from 1 2/3 trees each day, how many days will it take to harvest the entire orchard? Okay, I hope this is screaming division to you. Okay, so we're going to need to take that 18 total trees and divide it. See how many times this 1 2/3 goes into it. Okay, so we're going to make that 18 over 1. Let me do that on the next step here. 18 over 1. And we're going to make this 3 times 1 plus 2. This is 5/3. Okay, so keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. Whenever we divide with fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so 18 and 5 unfortunately doesn't reduce at all. So we're just going to have to do 18 times 3, which comes out to be 54, and 1 times 5, which comes out to be 5. Okay, this comes out to be 5 goes into 54 10 times with 4/5 left over. So it will take 10 and 4/5 days, almost 11 days. Okay. All right, number 5. Dylan is ordering 5 dozen donuts for his grandmother's birthday. He wants a quarter of them to be chocolate, frosting with chocolate sprinkles, a third of them to have caramel frosting with nuts, and the rest just to have a sugar glaze. The donuts with the sugar glaze cost 60 cents each, and the others cost 80 cents each. Letter A, how many are there of each type of donut? Label your work. Okay, so let's look at chocolate. Chocolate, we need to find 1/4. 1/4 of 5 dozen, let me make a note here, 5 dozen equals 60 donuts. Okay, there are 12 per dozen. Okay, so 12 times 5 gets us the 60. All right, so we need to do a quarter of 60. Now that dot is multiplication. A quarter of, we're going to multiply a quarter of 60. And then for the caramel, caramel, however you say it, we're going to do a third of the 60, a third of the 60. And then the last part is going to be sugar. Okay, and we don't quite know an expression for that because it just says the rest are sugar. All right, so let's take a quarter of 60. A quarter of 60 is 15. A third of 60 is 20. Okay, so do you understand that there are 35 total chocolate and caramel together? Okay, so if we're going to find out the sugar, we're going to take the total of 60 and we're going to subtract out these two added together. We're going to subtract off 35. Okay, so that'd be 25. Okay, so there are 15 chocolate with chocolate, I'll say, comma, 20 caramel, and 25 sugar. Okay, how much did Dylan spend for each type of donut? All right, well, we've got chocolate and we've got 15 of them at, was it 80 cents? Yes, 80 cents each. Okay, 15 times 80 cents, this would be 12. For the caramel, we had 20 of them times that 80 cents, and that comes out to be 16. The sugar, we had 25 of them. This time the price for those are a little cheaper, 60 cents. 25 times 60 cents is 15. Okay, so he spent 12 bucks on the chocolate, 16 bucks on caramel, and 15 bucks on sugar. Please do not forget the dollar signs. We're talking money, okay? All right, how much did he spend total on the donuts? Okay, so we're gonna take 12 plus 16 plus 15 from each added together. That's gonna be our expression. Okay, and that comes out to be 43. So Dylan spent $43 on donuts. Okay, that concludes 2.3D. Have a good one.